Episode 42. Last time we discovered what is quite possibly the greatest mystery that Diana has ever faced in Borgia Arena. How to organize Chia's bag. It seems like Chia isn't going to do it herself. Not even she wants to deal with this thing. So it's up to Diana. Out of fear that this is going to take me forever, which it probably will, and spending too much time on it, I'm either going to limit the amount of time that I spend on this bag per episode, or limit how many minutes I spend on each puzzle here. Because there are a total of... where is this? I scrolled over it and completely ignored it. Off to a great start. Here we go. Riddles. There are a total of... I guess these are all Chia's bags since... well, at the very end these are Chia's stuff, and then at the very beginning it's Chia's stuff, so everything in between is going to be more of Chia's stuff. There are a total of 10 Chia's riddles, and the third one here took us the better part of, well, 10 minutes or something, maybe more. Me just kind of staring at the instructions. 7 more of those I think is going to, if they get progressively harder, take more than an episode, maybe even 2. So what I think I'm going to do is limit myself to 5 minutes on one puzzle, and if it doesn't work out, use this guide that I've looked up on my phone that has a bunch of the puzzle solutions, but I don't want to have to resort to that. Hopefully I can just figure things out within 5 minutes or so. This is the Steam Community Guide by Count Wacula, which seems to have like everything in the game, pretty much everything that I could need to find if I ever need to look things up, which I probably will have to. At the very end anyway. I still haven't run out of things that I can do to just find things on my own, but if I ever find out that I'm running out of fish or running out of places to find fish, I could probably use this guide for that too. But for now I'm just going to use it for these puzzle solutions if it takes me longer than 5 minutes. And I probably won't do all 7 of these puzzles in this one episode, probably spread it out a little bit. We'll see how far I can get until I get sick of it. Okay. Timer starts now. I'm actually looking at my physical clock here that I use for timing. At the 52 counter, I guess. Chia wants all blue objects. Okay, that's actually pretty helpful. Actually, I've changed my mind. Great. Thanks, Chia. Okay. I did see the thing on the card said I changed my mind. I didn't know that'd be like the theme of the puzzle. Okay. The objects I wanted before are fine, but I want them in all different colors. I want the first object from the same shelf as the red one. I want the sharp object from the shelf right below the third object. Fourth object is on the fourth shelf. So all of these are pretty standard at the very end, except for these first 2 lines. I guess the key here is that there is a valid thing that you could do with all of the blue objects, but then you just change it to different colors, like all different colors, the 4 different colors. I'm going to assume it's not going to be the colorless color. Of the blue objects, there are a few of them. Part of the puzzle is figuring out the best way to solve the puzzle. Like the logistically best way to narrow things down, and I don't know how to do that. I guess we can just start by doing trial and error, which is probably logistically the worst way to start, potentially. And narrow things down that way. Actually, I've changed my mind. The objects I wanted before, but all different colors. The first object from the same shelf. Wait, I want the first object from the same shelf as the red one. So the first object has to be on the same shelf as whatever object is red. Yeesh. How do you even start this? sharp object from the shelf right below the third object. The fourth object is on the fourth shelf. Is that the easiest one to start with? I'm not sure it is. The ruler is blue too, but there is no other color of blue ruler, although it could be the one blue object because if she wants all different colors, then that means one stays blue. It's not very helpful to narrow down just like switching from blue to a different color. There is a different color of bucket, there is a different color of saw, there's a different color of towel, there's a different color of paint can, and even if there were a paintbrush, there would be a different color of that. But the ruler is like the only one. Well, I guess we don't get pliers because they were never blue. Can we like... Okay, we can mark them off, that's what that button does. So, all of you go back. Let's first narrow down things that aren't blue. You're not blue. Things that aren't blue that don't have a blue counterpart. As a blue counterpart, these were never blue at any point. Colorless objects were... Wait, does that make sense? There aren't any blue scissors, so... And there aren't any blue pliers either. There is no blue hacksaw. Okay, I think this is the way to do it. There's no blue tape measure. So now, the trial and error bit becomes maybe a bit more reasonable. There's no blue shears or blue axe. Okay, yeah, this mark button is how you do it. That's why they give it to you. I'm actually running out of time on my 5-minute limit. Maybe I'll make it a 10-minute limit and only limit myself to 2 of these puzzles per episode or something. Maybe 3. Probably 2. So then. The objects before are fine, but I want them in all different colors. The first object is from the same shelf as the red one. As we've limited things, there can only be 2 red objects. So the first object is either from this shelf, shelf 4, or from shelf 1. I'm not sure that helps us immensely quite yet. I want the sharp object from the shelf right below the third object. There are no sharp things on this shelf, so this can't be the third object. Wait a second. Here we go. This is it. Okay. Yeah, this is the one. The sharp object has to be one of these 2. That means the third object is this blue ruler. And this one kind of stood out to me. I mentioned that it's the only one without a color counterpart, so it has to be the blue object. Every other object is a different color. Alright, we're onto it now. And now the sharp object is from the shelf below the third object, so it has to be one of these. It can't be the blue one. So it goes in one of these slots. We don't know yet. I don't think. The first object is from the same shelf as the red one. And if the fourth object has to be from the fourth shelf, then that means it has to be the red can, I think, in the fourth slot. And the first object is yellow. No, wait, hang on. Green? First object from the same shelf as the red one. Could be either one of these. They all have blue counterparts. Does this adhere to the rules? Just from the bottom up. This fourth object is from the fourth shelf. The first object is from the same shelf as the red one, which is the fourth object and the fourth shelf. I want the sharp object from the shelf right below the third object. And the ruler. Which is also the sharp object from the shelf right below the third object. This doesn't break any rules, I don't think. These could have all been blue objects. A blue paintbrush, a blue paint can, a blue saw, and a blue ruler. Our problem here is that we could have like a green paint can. Oh, I know, wait. No, we can't have a green paint can because we have a red paint can, so... So in the original all-blue lineup, there wouldn't have been 2 blue paint cans. Okay, this is it. Cool, we solved one. And within my arbitrary time limit too, which I extended, but still. I was just really feeling myself, really feeling like I was onto the puzzle. So I extended the time limit. One more, with a 10-minute time limit again. Maybe I'll make it like a 8-minute time limit, or 9 minutes, whatever. What was this one called? I didn't catch the title. Actually, quickly. I want to see the title. How do I do that? There we go. Adjacencies. The title might be very important for, like, solving the puzzle. Like a hint. That's going to be the theme, adjacencies. The yellow object and the object on the 3rd shelf cannot be adjacent to the green object. That's a mouthful. There's only one yellow object. The object on the 3rd shelf. There's only one green object and there's only one object from the 3rd shelf. Or is there? The object on the 3rd shelf, yeah, I guess so. The object on the 1st shelf and the green object cannot be adjacent to the 2 objects on the 2nd shelf. I feel like the way to solve this game is with a pen and paper, which I do have next to me, but I don't want to clutter my notes, which I use for recording. Actually, if we use Chia's gift for us, that little analysis device for printing things out, it actually makes solving this a little bit easier, I guess. Maybe her gift was just her way of disguising a way to actually help her organize her bag, or something. Oh, there's actually 5 items down here. Okay, I didn't realize it would be increasing there. I want only one sharp object and one yellow object. One of these 2 is in the 1st position. The other is the smallest of 5. Just tell us. One of these 2 is in the 1st position? Jeez, Chia, you're so strange with instructions. Yeah. That might be the way to go. I think we assume that there's only the buzzsaw or only the scissors. That might be the way to go for narrowing things down. If there's both of these, then that would just kill me. So let's say we don't know the position of the small sharp object, but let's just put the small buzzsaw down here, I guess. Wait, hang on. The object on the 3rd shelf. So if we're picking this from the 3rd shelf, it would be the object from the 3rd shelf. Let's just read this last one quickly. Only one of the objects can have its color chosen. That object is not blue. What does that mean? Only one object can have its color chosen. By chosen you mean put down here in the list? The English here is something gonna have to dissect a bit. Only one of the objects can have its color chosen. So let's say the object is a bucket. Its color would be blue, but the object is not blue. I'm not sure what information this is. It's not saying that everything has to be not blue. It wouldn't be that simple. Guess we'll come back to that one. Let's just focus on this initial theory. There has to be a small buzzsaw which means the other object is a yellow object, and this is the third shelf object. That cannot be adjacent to a green object. And the yellow object is in the first position. Let's just pick a dummy yellow object. It can't be next to green, so green can't be here. If the buzzsaw were here, then the green object could be here, here, or here. If the buzzsaw were here, green would have to be in 5. And if the buzzsaw were here, green would have to be in 2. And if here, then it would have to be in 3. Not much to narrow down there. The object on the first shelf and the green object cannot be adjacent to the 2 objects on the second shelf. There are 2 objects from the second shelf. Hang on, so 2 objects from the second shelf, 1 from this, and 1 object from the first shelf. That's a total of 4. And maybe 1 more object from the fourth shelf? We don't have to use all the shelves, but just by like statistics, maybe? That might be the wrong way to go about things. The object on the first shelf can't be a green object, right? Because of that hint. The object on the first shelf means only 1 object from the first shelf, and the green object means only 1 green object, so the green object has to be here. It can't be this, because I'm just assuming it can't be this, because that would be the same size as the small object, and everything has to be bigger than that. So it's either one of these. Let's just pick one of these, and I don't know. Let's say it's a paint can. This one cannot be adjacent to the 2 objects on the second shelf. Alright, that temporary placement is not adjacent to any object from the second shelf. We haven't placed any of those. The 2 objects from the second shelf, that's a total of 2, cannot be next to the green object, plus the object on the third shelf and the yellow object, so that's all 4 of them. Wait, unless the yellow object is a second shelf object, so yeah. So that's probably what we have to run with. Yellow is a second shelf object, and no wait, only 1 sharp object. Or wait, I didn't even... No wait, right. Sharp object has to be one of these 2. So it can't be this saw. Why'd I pick this one again? Just an arbitrary... No wait, these are all sharp. And there is an object from the third shelf. So that means it has to be this. 2 objects on the second shelf, so we need 1 more second shelf object. Can't be a sharp object, so it's a ruler. Okay, now we have something. I think it has to be the ruler, has to be this. Has to be the tape measure, because it can't be sharp. Could be the bucket or the paint can, and this 4th object is something from the first shelf. I think the key here is going to be this last hint. Only one of the objects can have its color chosen. That object is not blue. Alright. I guess I just look it up at this point. This is like the closest that I could get. I'm pretty confident on 1, 2, 3, and the number 5 being either the paint can or this roller. No clue on the 4th item though. It has to be from the first shelf, but... Let's see. The guide says it's... the red towel and the green paint roller, it seems, so... How are you supposed to get that? At this point, it's not just solving the puzzle, it's solving the hints, the instructions. How does this fit this last thing? Okay. It only took looking up the answer and several dozen more minutes after looking the answer up to actually figure out what the reasonable solution to this puzzle is, but I think I finally have it. I guess the main thing is just this last hint that I was stuck on, and how that narrows down these last two items that I couldn't quite figure out. So I thought the green bucket, green paint can could be something that I could answer with, but it has to be this green paint roller and it has to be this red towel, specifically because of this last rule. So what this is saying, only one of the objects can have its color chosen, that object is not blue. What it means by this first sentence is that only one of the objects can be an object that you can select a color from, or maybe a better way to phrase it is that only one of the objects has alternate color counterparts. Being the red towel here, it has alternate color counterparts, and none of the other objects are allowed to do that. So that's why this fifth item can't be the green paint can, like I thought it could be, because it has alternate color counterparts, and that has to be this one based on process of elimination. And if I actually figured out this hint at the very beginning, it probably would have made things a lot easier, because that applies to the rest of the objects too. This tape measure is the only one of the yellow objects that doesn't have a different color counterpart. Well, I guess these shears do, but they're also a sharp object, which breaks the other rule. And the blue ruler is the only blue object that doesn't have other color counterparts. The blue paint can has green and red, the blue paintbrush has yellow and green, etc., etc. So, yeah, there would have been other ways to narrow down these first few items that took me forever, and I definitely cut out the rest of this. Like most of it, I'm sure, but we're finally done with this. I'm giving it a rest for the rest of the episode. I think I'll just cut out like as much as I can so that it only takes up the first 20 minutes of the episode, those puzzle solving things. Don't want this to be the entire episode because this would have already, just those two puzzles, filled in more than 1.5 episodes, just me figuring out the wording of those things. I think I'm definitely going to use a Joker card if I go over like 5 minutes. It doesn't matter if I use a Joker card, I don't think. It's really worth my time to puzzle out the wording of those things. Well, I guess what I do is use a Joker card to get the solution, or maybe just straight up look up the solution after 5 minutes and try to figure out the wording from the solution. In a sense, solve the puzzle backwards. It's kind of a stupid way to do things, but I feel like that's the hardest part of these puzzles sometimes. Figuring out the wording, or whatever. All those colors and rules and whatever have me super stressed out, so I'm going to go to a place where there are no rules for the colors. I'm going to Cecilia's. At least she won't throw a fit if there's some adjacent colors that are not adhering to some arbitrary rules or whatever. This is why I have to limit myself to only 2 puzzles per episode or something. Alright, let's relax a bit. How can I help you, Diana? Please. Paint and brush ready? I'm going to show Art what I am about. Oh, sorry, Diana. I'm lacking inspiration lately, and I haven't made any new drawings. Okay, that's great. I really needed this today. Really needed it after all of that harrowing puzzle work, but I think this is a good sign, actually. This is an event, right? An actual, like, event with Cecilia, so that just means we get to chill out with her rather than doing her paintings. Oh, is everything okay? Yeah, it happens. Don't worry about it. Say, do you want to talk a bit? Maybe not here. Let's change the scenery. Sure. Do you know where? The Saracen Tower, what do you think? The view from up there is très joli. Not sure what that means. It's a deal. We'll see each other there then. I have to run some errands along the way. Take your time. I'll see you there. Yeah, that's just her way of saying that we can't drag her around like the other companions. It's the same thing with, I'm forgetting his name again. Adriano. We can't drag Adriano and Cecilia around because they're not one of the 4 main companions, I guess. It's just not in their coding. Summer of Arts. Cecilia suggested we meet at the Saracen Tower to talk a bit in the open air. And actually, because I need to relax, force myself to relax after that harrowing puzzle, I'm gonna change into some more vacation-esque clothes. Yeah, this one always calms me down. Maybe this one? Might be a bit too busy though. Not sure if it's coming out in the recording. Actually, I'm pretty sure it is coming out in the recording, but I am actually physically exhausted after those puzzles. Just kind of staring at the screen with that same music playing. It's probably unhealthy to do those for too long, at least for me anyway. Did we solve this? Oh, that's not a riddle. I think every other puzzle in the game is pretty manageable. Even the main trial and error style mystery board game puzzles from the main story. Those ones could be pretty frustrating, but even they have ways to kind of figure them out through trial and error. I mean, that's the whole point, but what I mean is that the end screen gives you like the correct stuff if you got certain cards right or whatever. With Chia's puzzle, you either have to use Joker cards definitely, or just kind of stare at it for a very long time. Or you just look it up like I did, if you spend too much time on it. Santa Madre, that was fast. Have you been waiting long? No, I just got here now. Before I forget, I wanted to ask you. What do you do when you lack inspiration? Huh? You said you're a writer, right? Amateur. But I wouldn't say fully fledged writer. Now that I think about it, maybe inspiration isn't the right word. Huh? I meant something more like a push, an impulse to do something else. It doesn't concern art only. It can be applied to every job or passion. So, what do I do when I don't want to do anything? More or less, yeah. Even if I really want to paint today, I just can't do it. Oh, you're kind of rejecting it, but on a subconscious level. It's something that's deep inside. Who knows why? Let me think about it. It's gotta be this, right? Hitting it head on just makes you tired out. Just like with that puzzle. We need to take a break from those. That's what we're doing right now. That's what we're going to do for a long time. You know, sometimes even if I try to force it, there's nothing I can do. My head is somewhere else, so the best thing is to, well, go looking for it. Take a break for a while, find something else to do. And sooner or later, the will to work returns. Are you sure about that, Diana? I'm not sure I can muster up the will to go back to those puddles. What a wonderful allegory. See, you do have what it takes to be a writer. We're really very similar in that way. I try to break when I'm uninspired too. Usually I see art as my refuge, my safe place. But I can't always rely on it, even if I wanted to. Moral of the story, don't put all your eggs in one basket, or they will all break together. You're more than just a writer, you are. You could paint a canvas with all those colorful expressions. Ah, careful with the compliments now, or I won't leave you in peace for a second. You don't know how happy I am to have someone to chat about these things. Borgia Marina is a little paradise, but it can be hard sometimes to find new inspirations. Yeah, and that's only gonna get even harder now that you're trapped in the town forever, but I guess she was okay with it based on that other conversation we had. By the way, I wanted to ask you, has your relationship with art always been so turbulent? No. Deep. In a certain sense. My father wanted a son who would follow in his footsteps, become a banker like he was. At first he even tried to get me interested in the financial world, but he soon gave up. Maybe it was to make my ma happy. She's the one who encouraged me to follow my passion for art, ever since I was little. Although I did always have the feeling she just wanted to parade my passion around like a trophy. So, between my pa's disinterest and my ma's morbid interest, what can I say? Yeah, my relationship with art has always been a deep one, with its ups and downs. What about you? My ma's a policewoman, and my pa, he's an Italian professor. Their work has always fascinated me, so for now I'm kind of in the middle. Writer of mystery novels? Why not? It seems like a good starting point. And you're a detective, don't forget. Yeah, right. There's not much to theory. There's not much to theory without a bit of practice. By the end of the holidays, you'll be able to teach me the basics of detective work. Detective Caproni and her trusted sidekick, Agent Volpucci. But one thing at a time, eh? In the meantime, I'll see you tomorrow at the studio for our next painting lesson. Oui, see you there. Tomorrow, huh? Really do feel like I want to de-stress doing one of those painting things. Just because it's so easy and there's no way to actually fail them. Not really, unless you somehow can't actually find the last place to color in, where the pointer hand is pointing to. I have noticed that happens sometimes, but other than that, it's pretty stress-free. So I think what I'm going to do is actually call it a day. Probably in world right now it's only a little bit past noon or something. I think Diana just spent so much energy in the morning doing that puzzle. She's tuckered out for doing anything else the rest of the day. Sometimes you just gotta take a nap at noon and then, when you wake up at night, figure out it's already too late in the day to do anything else and then just go to sleep. That's happened to me before. Just going to sleep the entire day away. Kind of a waste of a vacation, but that doesn't count in Borgia Marina because time is infinite. Maybe Chia's in the workshop. I could go see her. No, Diana, we are not going to talk to Chia. Although this probably won't be another puzzle, I just don't want to be anywhere near the workshop. Reinventing oneself. I wonder how Chia is doing after the events of the other night. As soon as I can, I have to go find her in the workshop. Yeah, as soon as we can. I guess working at Adriano's farm is also pretty relaxing. You can fail it, but it's just like money you lose out on, right? So I don't really care. And we've never really had too much trouble getting it right perfectly every time, so could do that. Could also hang out with Pena. Visit Lexua. Fishing is pretty relaxing. Really anything other than Chia's bag is relaxing. It's a shame. I wanted to like those puzzles, and in a way I do kind of like them. I guess I just have to interact with the parts that I like and not interact with the parts that I don't like. Which means looking things up if it takes too long or whatever. Maybe using a joker card here and there.
Hola.
We're here to color. Oh, it's Peppino. How very relaxing. This scary guy that everyone is scared of, except for Pena. Oh wow, a very blue tone here. What color was Peppino again? I guess this is like our blue period or something. Don't actually know what the blue period means. It's like an art thing for a specific artist, right? Could just make everything yellow. More of a cream color. Kind of reject the instructions that we're getting to color everything blue. But no, they're not instructions, they're just whatever we want it to be. The colors are anything we want them to be. Oh, I kind of like that, it works well with the dark color there. Maybe like a slightly lighter color. Not quite that. Yeah, I think that. Like that was the fur color. Kind of like whenever in an episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure they get really serious or something, they shift to a different color space. Peppino kind of looks like that right now. Kind of hard to get the buck teeth specifically. There we go. And the nose too? Damn. Oh wait, I got the nose. It's the same color as the hat. And what was it again, this? I think so. But what was the hair color? Might have been... no, not that. Oh, I guess he's getting a new hair color. Oh, that's the same color as that, okay. want Pepino to kind of be limited to a few colors. Maybe almost close to tritone or whatever. Dark background. Something like that. Yeah, I like that for Pepino. Maybe his teeth, different color, slightly. If I can actually manage to hit them. You know what, maybe this is a bad idea. Trying to change the color. I knew it. I knew it would be a bad idea. There. Alright, we're back to this. Actually, what's this other thing? Is that his... No, it's something else. What's behind him? Is that the wall? Guess it's the yellow thing here. It's kind of like yellow on the wall, but we could try something else. Oh, that's just the same. Maybe purple there? No. You know, with all these shades of blue or purple or whatever, it actually gets pretty hard to pick between them. In my head, I can't really discern that one shade of blue would be better than a different shade of blue. I just don't have the mindset for it. Guess we'll just throw some colors in there. Oh, his eye. Oh, I like that actually. Not sure what this is in the bottom right. I think we're just about there. That might work. Kind of want the inside to be that, and then darker bars. It doesn't matter. I'm so glad it doesn't matter. Even if I end up being very particular about the colors, like I usually do, it's not nearly as stressful as Chia's bag. Even if I have to go back and forth on recoloring these colors that I accidentally colored wrong, I'm doing it because I want to. Might be a bit too much yellow. Kind of want it to be a bit more infrequent, the yellow. Let's replace some of this yellow with this one. Okay, I like that a bit better. Yeah, there we go. I haven't really used this light blue that much, or at all even. What are we missing here? Oh, behind him. Now this is the one thing about the cursor, sometimes it's pointing at the place that it shouldn't be, but the center of something that's behind a different thing, like in this case. Is this a window here? Don't think it is, but I like the idea of a little bit of light on at night. I guess when we color it yellow, it does kind of look like a window, so yeah. I like that. The yellow moon at night, the yellow windows, if this is a window. And then Peppino's yellow eyes staring at you. Maybe his yellow shirt, just so he also stands out, but maybe I just only want his eye to stand out. If that's the case, we go with... No, I think I like the yellow shirt. Stripe. Yeah. Okay, I feel successfully de-stressed. The emissary. The emissary of what? I guess the Lords of the Sea? Some ancient sea god or something? A drawing by Cecilia portraying Peppino who... What does Peppino do all day? We don't have to know. Well, I see you've decided to experiment with colors, but there's something that doesn't quite convince me. Oh, you've noticed that, huh? I guess we were experimenting with colors there. But no, she just says this every time, right? There's no way that she can actually, like, have AI that tries to determine if you, the player, experimented with colors, so... yeah. It doesn't matter. See you tomorrow. Same time for another painting lesson. Bien sûr. Unless maybe that does actually change based on like how close you are to the actual intended color usage. Because like the color palette that they choose is based on, at least partially I think, the actual colors of the people that you talk to. And I know Peppino would probably have, yeah. Wait, no. Could we have colored him? There were no like gray options like this, I don't think. It was all blue. So yeah, you were actually forced to use a color... colors different from what colors Peppino would have, like mostly blue. And then on top of that, the rest of the colors on the scene probably don't even match that actual scene in Borgia Marina down by the pier. I'm pretty sure there's no way that you could actually get an accurate color representation of like Peppino over there. Let's visit Adriano. Just one last way to de-stress. His usual lines. Oh, wait. Same old, nothing new. In fact, to tell the truth, today I thought I'd do something different. Hey, would you like to be my accomplice? Accomplice? What's involved in that? Okay, let's get the rules straight. Rule 1, no questions. Off to a great start. You're either in or you're out. All I can say is, it will be worth it in the end. I hope so. Okay, but please don't make me do anything strange. Of course not. So, it's simple. I need you to bring me some things. Let's see. Some green beans. Some potatoes. Medium-sized ones are fine. Some basil, must be nice and fresh. And some sheets of pasta to make lasagna. Essential stuff. I don't care where you get this stuff from, that's up to you. See you back here when you've got everything, okay? Okay. Oh, well, I guess we already know what it's going to be. Improvised picnic. Looks like Adriano wants to cook me something nice, in return for my help at the farm. It's already making my mouth water. Well, he's doing this because we helped at the farm, but I'm going to pretend that he picked up that we're feeling super duper stressed after all of that puzzle solving, and he thought he'd just do something nice for us instead of the usual work at the farm. Even though I was here for just some relaxing farm work, maybe he's just being extra nice to us today. Truth be told, I've already everything. Look here. Oh, very nice indeed. Thank you. So what now? Now you sit there quiet under the elm tree, the one behind the tool shed, and I'll join you in a while. Are you sure I can't help? Absolutely. Take the opportunity to, I don't know, whatever you city folk do to kill time. What do you country folk do? Nothing, because we really don't have any time to waste. Look, I think this might be some sort of obsession of yours. I'm just joking. Make sure the tablecloth doesn't blow away, and no ants get into the picnic basket, things like that. I'll do it for real, see if I don't. Cool. Turns out we're not working today. Even better. This is exactly what we needed. What are you thinking back to? I'm sure we picked this before, but... I didn't want to push my cousin so hard that time. Right, I remember that. This waiting for Adriano to eat is turning into a bad habit. Oh yeah, I guess that did happen in our last event. Huh. Well, at least this time he's cooking for us, right? So... No, you ants, you can't get into the picnic basket. With all the space you have out here. It is a nice view, isn't it? Too bad we can't really pan the camera around. There's always a nice fresh sea breeze here, of course. Oh, they changed the camera angle, thanks. Here we are. Genoa-style lasagna. Oh, is this the last recipe? Okay. Take a dish like lasagna, and combine it with a sauce like pesto. What could go wrong? Nothing at all. In fact, it's delicious. Wow, Adriano. What a dish. It looks so good, it's almost a shame to eat it. Eat up, go on, before it gets cold. Seriously? Amazing. Lasagna with potatoes and green beans? Where did you find the recipe? To tell the truth, it is quite a common dish in Liguria. I still don't know. Gotta look this up. Is it Liguria or Liguria? Going to assume Liguria. But to make a long story short, while tidying up the house, I found an old recipe in an old recipe book of Ma's. And I thought I'd put myself to the test with a classic. Well, thanks for choosing me to be your guinea pig. If you have any other experimental cooking planned, feel free to experiment on little old me. Now, there are many more of Ma's recipes to try out, as many as you want. It's a good thing you didn't overdo it today, though. Yeah, about that. I've been thinking about what you told me last time at Mama Lucia's. Yeah, maybe something isn't quite right, you know? Sometimes I feel a bit tired, lonely. Is this a new track? I don't recall hearing this before. Oh. Just sometimes. Or is it a recurring feeling? I don't know. Because I really have to force myself to think about it, to realize that's how I feel. Otherwise, I don't know. It's as if I'm trying to ignore how you feel. Yes. Working. I don't think it's the right time to get high energy on the guy. Okay. And do you think refusing to think about things like this has helped? Well, yes, it has. I was able to do my job after all. I don't know. I always feel this weight on my chest. And lately I've been so tired all the time. Although I do sleep well. Sounds like you were trying to hide your problems. I'm the one to talk. I ran away from Turin with my tail between my legs. You may have kept the farm going. But from what you say, you're back to square one now, right? I mean, I wonder how long you can keep this up, in the long run. Maybe you're right, but you could at least talk to someone, instead of losing yourself in your work. Yeah, I guess this is exactly why Cecilia kind of left, right? All this friction because he just wouldn't stop working. Seems like it's more of a serious problem than just taking away time with Cecilia. It's actually eating away at the core of his being, it sounds like. That's what friends are for. To help you face those negative thoughts in a more healthy way. Cecilia always used to say just that. Ah, okay. Maybe it's a sticky point still, but what role do you think Cecilia plays in all this? I don't know, Diana. Lately things have been going so quickly and you haven't thought about it. No, I did think about it, of course. But not really. I don't know how to explain it. I did something else. Wouldn't it be better to just face things? In the end, you broke up a short time ago. Maybe. Okay, maybe I've gone too far. Anyway, thanks for cooking. No problem. I'll leave you the recipe, so the student can attempt to beat the master. You don't know who you are dealing with. I eat that kind of challenge for breakfast. Was that a joke? Enjoy your meal. Great. Thanks, Diana. And actually, yeah, I think that'd be a good place to leave it. A nice chat with Cecilia, a little bit of coloring, and a free lunch from Adriano, and Diana is successfully de-stressed from all of those mind-numbing, exhausting puzzles with Chia's bag. At least she is. I myself am not yet. Probably gonna take a little bit more time plus an actual real-life meal for myself for me to actually get over those feelings. But I'm sure I'll be ready for the next episode before too long. Now would be a good time to take a break.